Hi all, welcome to this European Marquee Matchups with the European games that were chosen last Monday. I thought I would go and cover some potential routes again if they were to go with this. Hopefully you find this useful. Let me know in the comments down below if you think this will happen. So if you can smash likes, it would be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at GSLegend. All the links are down below for playlists on the channel and social media links. We've got the 4 Champions League games and a number of Europa League games thrown in, so let's jump into them. First route is Leicester versus Sevilla. I quite fancy this route to happen, mainly because Leicester are in an offy state and Sevilla are really going for it. And I feel for me this would be one play from either team. It's going to be at least 2 leagues, so you could easily get like a 3 or 4 league hybrid out of this. Now I'm saying like players from the same league could be maximum 6. It could even be like 4, 5 or 6. 79 overall rating seems to be about right. It's not too difficult to do. Teams are roughly going to cost about 6 to 8k and 4 to 5k rewards. So Man City, Monaco, kind of another good shout as well. Both teams are fighting for their respective titles. Monaco's kind of a bit more likely than Manchester City. But 2 leagues, same nation. I'm going max 6. I think with both teams able to kind of rely heavily on, like say, French players, for example. I feel this could be a route that could easily be taken advantage of. Costs are pretty much all about the same. I'm noticing 6 to 8k. They're not going to be cheap. 4 to 5k reward and about a 6 out of 10 for a likelihood. Porto, Juventus. This could be an interesting one to go for, and it actually could be quite a good little route. This is definitely several leagues that you could build this as a hybrid, like 3 or 4 leagues. From there you could have like quite a few rare players as a requirement. 79 overall rating. I would say all the Champions League games are like 5, 6 out of 10 for likelihood. It's just dependent if which 2 they opt for, but a good solid route to go for. Leverkusen, Atletico, this one for me would probably be like a rare player requirement, just because Leverkusen have quite a few rare players and Dragovic could prove quite popular, same with Kevin Campbell, but for me personally I think everyone would probably look at Dragovic more likely. But 78, 79 overall rating, 6 to 8k for cost, kind of all similar stats and requirements for them. From the Europa League, Schalke versus PAOK, Salonika. We've not actually had really like any Greek routes yet, so this might be neglected, it might not. I've got quite a few leagues in this, and the way I've built it is just to ensure I've got just one Schalke player, one PAOK, but the rest of the team is built up accordingly. So I've got quite a few French, Spanish and German. So it's like a 2-nation hybrid, but it works as quite a few leagues. It might prove an odd route, but it might work. Saint Etienne, Manchester United for me is probably one of the more likely routes, but because Manchester United won so comfortably in the first leg, this route might not be considered as much. EA might want to look at the games that are a bit more tight, but as you're going to have one player from either team, at least 2 leagues. I would say you're going to get 3 or 4 out of this. 4 to 6 players from the same league, 79 rating overall. Most teams are going to be between 77 to 80, I would say, for overall. Roma, Villarreal, this one could be quite a high overall rating team. This would probably be about 78, 79. In terms of this, you've got 5 or 6 rare players. I've got away with quite a couple silvers as well, and the team is practically Brazil and Italian with a hint of Argentine. But 6 to 8k as said for cost. I say I don't fancy it. I think it could be a likely route, but it's hard to say where they will take the routes. Fiorentina, watching Gladbach, I quite fancy this route because we've not had much from Bundesliga teams like watching Gladbach, and both teams are doing relatively well in their leagues. And the way you can build this is one of the more cheaper alternatives, solely because of players that you can get. Like Raphael, who's quite a high rating and is relatively cheap. Same for guys like Di Maio and Astori for Fiorentina. So quite a relatively nice route to consider. Shakhtar, Celta Vigo, this route may not happen just because they haven't really done anything with Shakhtar. And then if Shakhtar crops up, everyone's going to have the whole team bought and trying to sell them off. And it's only one league, one team from the league in the game. So this route's maybe a little less likely. But this team would practically be Brazilian orientated, which could then therefore make the Brazilian players be one of the requirements that you don't want to have. Then Tottenham again, this one kind of a Belgium Spanish feel. Like a lot of the requirements are going to kind of, as I said, will be one player from either team, at least 2 or 3 leagues. So many rare players, or so many from the same nation. Overall will be, as I said, between 75 and 80 rated, and cost will relatively be about the same, which is going to be about 6 to 8k, so kind of expect that with these squads. But I don't fancy this route just due to how both teams are performing. And the last route is Leon versus AZ Alkmaar. I don't really fancy this route at all, but saying that, both Leon and AZ Alkmaar are both relatively decent teams in their respective leagues, and will give it a good run in the second leg. This one's quite easy, in all honesty. You can just kind of build it around. The benefit was Haller at striker, and you can just build like a Dutch route. But I hope and pray that they don't kind of make it like just, if you're going to go 2 nations in it, can kind of affect it in a sense. But I hope this route, like, I don't think they'll make it like, say, 2 nations and you just kind of go that way. It depends on how they feel like, which runs they take and how they do it. I've tried to look at how they did the ones last week in a sense to kind of build similar routes. What you find is useful, and let me know in the comments down below. As I said, if you think they will cover these routes. Hope you enjoyed this. Take it easy all. Remember to smash like, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at GZLegend. Take it easy all. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all later.